By the 1850s and the introduction of rifled percussion weapons, it was considered imprudent to approach the enemy close enough to throw a hand grenade, and Britain discontinued the use of them. The grenadier companies were disbanded, although they did retain the title grenadier. In both the American Civil War and the Crimea, both sides used both official and improvised patterns, but by the time of the South African War, the hand grenade had completely disappeared. However, the Russo-Japanese War, and in particular the Battle of Port Arthur in 1904, caused many foreign observers to re-evaluate the use of the hand grenade and recommend to their governments reintroducing them. As a result of these reports, the Royal Laboratories at Woolwich were instructed to investigate the design and manufacture of grenades. In 1906, a design was submitted to the Director of Artillery and with minor modifications was approved in 1908 for introduction. This was the No. 1 Mark I, the only grenade in the British inventory at the outbreak of the Great War, and it consists of a brass body surrounded by a segmented iron ring. Initially it was filled with lyddite. There's a cap which rotates from a safe to a fire position, and on the end of the handle there would have been streamers to ensure that it landed in the right direction. There's a commercial mining detonator in here, so it goes without saying that the explosion is instantaneous. It'd been previously noted that Russian troops hated percussion grenades with instantaneous fuses for the same reason. It's inherently dangerous. If you swing it over your shoulder in a trench situation, quite clearly there's a danger of a premature explosion. So no great surprise then that when the Mark II comes along, it consists of the same thing with a shortened handle. Given the urgency of the situation, the government looked around for other means of supplementing the supply of grenades. The Cotton Powder Company had previously in 1910 offered grenades to the government, who had declined on the basis that Royal Laboratories were already experimenting with their own designs. They had on stock a number of grenades which could either be configured as hand or rifle grenades that were meant for supply to the Mexican government, and they were immediately snapped up and taken on stock and designated the grenade No. 2, or Mexican pattern, which is this fella. Very similar in design to the No. 1. These were originally filled with tonite. It should be noted this is a Mark II No. 2, having a shortened handle much in the same way as the No. 1 did. It has a more sophisticated detonator, making it much less prone to accidental explosions, but in any event, both of these were declared obsolete in 1920, although it's very unlikely that any were used actively after 1916. Much more efficient designs were available by then.